Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to everyone who are joining us live today. We are going to be conducting a session on exam center registration. So I welcome everyone who is joining us live, and I hope that it is helpful for you and it is helpful to understand how do we register for an exam center registration and what are the requirements, what are some differences that you need to keep in your mind. So let's begin this session. My name is Mariam Azam, and currently I am the student support, officer at International Open University. So let's dive into it right away. Okay. So first of all, we will look into the difference in terms of taking midterm exams. We do have some programs where we are taking midterm exams at home, and then there are revised programs where the students are required to go to the exam center and to take their midterm exams. So we have phased out programs. As you know that IOU is phasing out their previous curriculum, and they are revising their curriculums, their programs, so that it is just to enhance the experience for the students. So there are some programs that are getting phased out. You can look into those programs at your screen right now. It is displaying, and these are the programs that you can call them that, these are phased out programs. So this includes all certificate and associate programs, advanced diploma, bridge programs, and bridge in a sense of BMAIS and BMARB. So it's important that you look at the code, the program code, which is important. Sometimes the student get confused that they are doing this bridge program, but one is coming under phased out, another one is under the revised version. So it's important that you look at the program code to get the clarification. And still, if you are confused, you can always drop an email to help desk, and they will help you to identify, okay, which program you are doing. And then there are BSc psychology degree, which is for spring 2014 curriculum, and then fall 2018 curriculum, and rest of the programs are displayed on the screen. So for these phased out programs, you have to take your midterm exams at home. You do not have to go to the exam center and do your midterm exams. So it's easier for the phased out programs students to take their midterm exams, and the final term exams will be conducted at the IOU approved exam center, and we have a deadline, the registration deadline, that is quite close after 4 days, which is July 18, 2025 at 6 p.m. UTC. So make sure that you guys, register for the exam center prior and not at the last moment, close to your deadline, because sometimes what happens is that maybe at the time of exam center registration, you realize that the exam center is not available, or they are closed, or the proctor is not available, or there could be any other issue. So it's good that register prior, contact your exam center prior, and then plan your exams. And then we have another, you can say, category, which is revised programs. You can see the program codes and the program names on your screen for the revised programs. For revised programs, you need to take your midterm exams at the IOU approved center. So you cannot take them at home. And same goes for the final exam. You need to take your final exams at the IOU approved exam center. And the registration deadline is same as for the phased up programs. So you need to make sure that you register for your exams prior. And you can also take the screenshot of this screen just to refer back to this slide and to check whether you are falling under phased out program or revised program. Now let's look into how to register. How to register for an exam center. Number one is you need to contact your exam center. and you need to check whether they are available, and you need to see, if they are still functioning, if they have the facility available to take or to conduct the exams or not. And if you contact them after, just before taking the exam or during the exam period, and then you are, maybe some students are not contacting and then directly, going to the exam center, and then they come across that the exam center is closed or it's not available, then it would be problematic. So it's better that you always contact them prior and then register, or for the exam center on the portal. Number two is check internet and laptop availability. So you need to check with the exam center whether they are providing laptops or whether they have internet connection with them. So if in case they don't, then you can, always take your own, and it would be ideal if you can check their prior, your own devices, if they are working there fine, or and your internet connection, in case you are taking with you along, then you should check if your internet, it's working at the exam center or not, and check if they charge a fee. So whatever fee they will charge, IU will have no contribution in it, and it will all be, belong to the exam center alone. So you need to make sure if they are charging, a reasonable amount, or if they are, having or charging an expensive amount. So you need to check with them. In case it's expensive, then you can always suggest a new center or contact any other existing center. And another is that you need to check if there is any female proctor available. So for the sisters, if you are, contacting a student where, sorry, exam center that is mainly male dominant area, or a male dominant center, then you need to check if they can provide the, feasibility of a female proctor. So you need to ensure that if there is, then well and good. If not, then there should be some sort of, separation that can be maintained, and you can take your exam easily without any hustle. And for one mass students, it is compulsory that they take their exams from the scholarship center. They cannot suggest a new center, or they cannot, attempt their exams from any other center that is not registered or that is not under their scholarship center. So in case you are finding any difficulty, so you need to make sure, or contact your local representative, and they can help you with that. But you need to make sure that you are taking your exams from the scholarship center. And once you find a suitable center, you will go to your portal, exam center portal. I'll show you that one, and it is available on your dashboard. So you can visit your exam center registration portal. You can select choose, and you can submit your application, and we will receive your application after due verifications and all those approvals. You will get the confirmation email in your inbox. So that's how you will register for an existing exam center. Now, let's look into it, how to suggest a new center. Let's suppose you do not have a center available in your area, or the existing center is not suitable for you, or there are any other issues. So what you can do is you can suggest your own center. You can do a little bit research in your area and see what are the available areas that you can go, or available places where you can suggest IOU to make them or turn them into an exam center for you. So there are few places. First of all, you can suggest a mosque or a masjid, where you can get in touch with them, with the administration of the masjid, or from with the imam of the masjid, and you can talk to them if they can conduct your exam. So you need to be open because sometimes people cannot understand. So you need to explain them thoroughly, and you need to share the details with them. You can show your the website of the university, and then you can discuss with them if they are willing to take your exams in their place. So first is that you can visit a masjid which is near your location. Another is you can always contact to any Islamic school or university. So in case you are living in a country where there are no masjids or no mosques, so you can always reach out to an Islamic school or university and check with them if they are willing to. Most of the times Islamic schools are open, and then you can freely discuss with them. Third option is, in case you are living in an area where there is no masjid, no Islamic school, no university, then you can always look for any Islamic community center. So you can reach out to the administration of the community center, and then they can help you. In case they are not available, then you can reach out to any Islamic professional institute. It could be any organization, but you make sure that it's an Islamic one. You can visit any NGO or any other business institute or something. In case there is no masjid available, no Islamic school, no university, no Islamic community center, then this is the last option, that you can always visit to Islamic professional institute, and you can communicate with them if they are available or if they are willing to take your exams. What are the requirements for the center? Number one, they should have a knowledge of about the internet. They at least basic knowledge should be there, and they should know how to operate devices, how to operate the internet, so it would be easier for you to take the exams. Next is, they should be able to enter password. So we will send them the password file, and then the instruction email once your center is approved. So we will send them these details. So they should be able to read, and they should be able to enter your password. What you will do is you will log into your account, and you will open your exam, the course, the exam of the course for which you want to take the exam, and you will open the final exam portal, and they can insert the password for you. Once they will insert, you can easily start taking your exam. So it's simple, it's not easy, but it's just that they should be able to enter password. Next is that they should have the ability to understand and implement the instructions that we will send them. So it's important that, as I mentioned earlier, that we will send them the details on the email, that they will give us. So in make sure that they are giving us the correct email ID, so that there are no any chances that might be miscommunication, or it happens that we are sending them the emails but they are not receiving them. So ensure that they are giving their active email IDs, so that we can send them the details and they can understand and implement the instructions. Number four is present, that they should be available in the exam room throughout the exam period. And, it's not that the proctor has inserted the details, the password, but they are not available afterwards. So make sure that, you talk to them that will you be available throughout the exam period? So it would be easier to conduct the exams. Number five is availability of the proctor as per your gender. In case you are a female, then you should check whether there are female proctors available or not. Last is the fee. So they can charge fee, but that fee will not come to IOU. So you need to negotiate. You need to check with them, and check if they are taking fee or not. If they are It's preferably, it's ideal situation that they conduct the exam free of cost. But if they want to, it's no, there is no issue, they can. But you need to again communicate with them, and this should not be a news to you that at during the time of your exam period, when you are going to the going to take your exam, then you come to realize, or they are communicating to you that we will charge a fee. So it's better that you check with them before, registering, or before sharing their details with us. So that's it for today. If you have any queries, any questions, you can let me know, and I can, inshallah, address it. You can, write your questions in the YouTube live chat box, and we will, inshallah, address it. Okay, so Brother Adam, he said that I registered for exam center for midterm. Do I need to register again for final exams? Very good question, Brother Adam. And yes, we have to again register for the exam, for the final exams. So in case the student has, taken the exam during the, register for the midterms, they have to again register for the final term exam. The reason is, it could be possible that student can change the exam center, and they, for example, they took a exam in a different exam center in the during the midterm exam, and then they are deciding to take the exam in the another exam center for the final exam. So it's, that's why there is a policy that they have to re-register, or register again for the exam center, if they for the final exam as well. So yes. Next question is from Farheen. How to apply for late exams? Will it affect the grades? Okay, so the registration process for supplementary exams, supplementary means that you will, take your exams in the late session. So there is no difference. If the word supplementary comes, it means late. So if you want to take your exams in the supplementary session, it means that the registration process is similar, and there is no difference. And yes, your marks will be deducted if you register for the late exams. So 15% marks will be deducted, and if you have any genuine reason, then you can apply for exemption application. So we have a portal of exemption application on the dashboard. You need to make sure that you are filling out the form properly so that it gets processed quickly and there are no hustles and delays in between. So make sure that you are filling out the application properly. And once it is approved, then those 15% marks will not get deducted from your total course grade. So yes, you can. There is no such procedure for applying for a late exam. You will simply register for exam center and then attempt, go to your course page and then open up the exam and insert. Your proctor will insert the password and you can attempt your exam. But if you want those 15% marks not get deducted, then you will apply for exemption application, as I mentioned earlier, and then you will follow the procedure so that your marks are not will not get deducted. That's all. Now, next question we have from Firdosa. I register for a new exam center. How long do I have to wait till it gets approved? So you once the student apply for the exam center, it goes through a certain procedure for verification approval from exam center department, and it will take some time. So usually it is recommend, we advise that you need to wait for the confirmation before a few days before the final exams. So yeah, before, you can say, before the first week of August, last week of July, you will, inshallah, get the confirmation email. In case you don't, then you can always reach out to help desk or the center department, and they can, share the update on your application. Next question is from Kansa. Assalamu alaikum. Ma'am, I suggested a new exam center. If I will receive the confirmation after the deadline, what to do then? Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sister. So it is not, likelihood is quite few that you will get the confirmation after the deadline. Um, but in deadline, as in the deadline for the exam center registration, or you mean that the deadline for the final exams? So if you mean after final exam, no, it's not possible. Inshallah, you will get it before that. But if you mean that the exam, after the exam center registration for the final exam, then yes, it is possible that you will get the confirmation after the final exam center registration's deadline, because the deadline is for the student and it is not for the administration. So the students are required to submit their applications before the deadline, but it does not mean that their exam center will get confirmed before this deadline, because this deadline is not for the administration. It will go under stages for approval and verifications, and this will take some time. So you will get the confirmation in the last week of July, most probably, inshallah, and then so that you can take your exams from August. Safana asks that if the exam center is quite far from where I live and I cannot afford to go to the center alone as I'm a girl due to transport issue and my parents aren't here to help me out this one time as they are out of town for urgent reasons, what can I do to not miss the exam and take it on time? Okay, so if Okay, so you mean that if exam center is quite far, so in those situations, you can always look for the center that is close to you, and if you cannot find any existing center that is close to you, then you can always, suggest a new center. And if that is not possible, then you can discuss with the exam center officer. In case there's any center available near you, she can suggest that. Otherwise, you can always pause your studies and then you can, join in the next semester. But, it's better that you can check with the centers department if they can suggest a suitable exam center for you. Otherwise, you can always pause it and then you can resume. Maha is asking that I have to give my exam in a different country as I'm traveling. So I have filled out the form and attached my tickets. When can I apply or register for my exam center in that country? So okay, so just a moment. Sorry. So yes, you can always, apply right now. If you have to give your exam, in a different country. So it does not mean that, if your travel is planned and you got the tickets, and once you get the tickets, you can always visit the exam center registration portal and then you can apply for it. But for that, if you are traveling to another country on a temporary basis, you will have to submit another application first, which is for temporary countries, those who are visiting another country on temporary basis. So you have to fill out that application. Once it is approved, then you can apply for your final exam center registration. So you do not need to wait until you actually travel to that country. If your travel is planned, you got the tickets, everything is sorted, then you can apply right now. Brother Abu Bakr is asking, if I forgot to register until exams start, what can I do? Okay, so you can still apply, you don't have to miss your exams. You just have to visit the exam center portal and you can apply. You will have to pay late registration fine, which would be $10. And but the registration portal will be open. It's just that those who are applying after the deadline, they have to pay the fine. And fine you can pay you do not have to pay right away. You can pay with your next semester registration fee. So there is some relaxation on that, but it does not mean that you have to miss your exams. You can register late and you can attempt your exams. But make sure that you are contacting the exam center if they are available, and all those things should be clarified, and then you apply for exam center registration. Okay, Sister Kansa is asking, all right, yeah. If you meant that the deadline of the registration, then yes, it is possible that you don't get the confirmation before the final exam registration deadline, because the deadline is for the students, not for the administration. So that is highly possible, but you will get it before the exam, obviously, inshallah. Okay, now we have another question. How do I know that specific time for the exams at the center I am writing the exams? Um, so we have the 1 week period, which it begins from 12:05 a.m. and ends at 6 p.m. UTC. So the time zone is UTC. You will convert this time into your local time, and then you can visit. You can contact your exam center and your proctor and discuss the timings in which they are available, and then you can visit your center. So you have to make sure that you are converting UTC to your local timing. Next, you have to communicate your time to the exam center. So you can either pick your own time, or you can check with your proctor, center, at what time they are available. So it basically the mutual communication, the mutual understanding you will do with your exam center, and then you can register. Do we have any next question? Okay, we don't see further questions. In case you have, then you can, type in the YouTube live chat box, or we'll begin and we'll proceed further to end the session, inshallah. All right, let's end this session, and I appreciate you all for. Okay, we got another question. All right, so I am in a far city and I don't know whether to register for a center in the new city I arrive to. Leave it till I come back to my city, which would be already after the exams have started. So, in case you are, in a far city, and you don't know whether you would register for a city in a new city, or you would like to. So, in this case, I think you should have decide prior that in which city you're gonna be during the time of exam period. So it's better that you should have a date or something that you can, based on that you can register for the exam center, or else you can pause your studies, but just focus on this thing, that if it would be better, because pausing a semester means that you are wasting your performance, you're wasting your money. So it's better that you should decide, okay, during the exam period, where would I be? Would I be in the old city, or would I be in the new city? So that it would be easier for you, and it would be easier for your performance will not get wasted. So first wait and see in which city you would be, and then register. Okay, the exam center registration deadline is July 18, so you still have 4 days left. But it does not mean that after this registration deadline, you won't be able to register. You will be able to register. of course, but it's just that you will pay a fine of $10. So for those who are unable to decide or unable to find a center, you guys don't need to worry. You can still register, but it's just that you have to apply, pay for the fine. And that fine you don't need to pay right away. You can still pay it with your next semester registration fee. All right. We have another question which says that I already sent an email to the center, but no response was received. So in this case, it is better that you visit the center or you call them if there is any cell phone number available on the website on the portal. It's better that you contact them through other ways. Just don't rely on the email. It's possible that the exam centers don't respond on the email, so better to visit them, call them. And even if you don't get any response from them, then you can always look for another center, or the existing center or the new center. Creating a new center is sadka jariya for you. Other new students will come to that center and you will get the reward. So it's, don't look into it. Oh, I have to find another new center. I have to suggest a new center. Look at in terms of the opportunity that you will get the reward, inshallah. In case if I don't get the approval for the center I chose, meanwhile the deadline is approaching, can I still register after 18? And will I be able to? Yes, you can. You can register after 18. The registration portal will be available. It's not that it will get seized or something. It is open and it will remain open. You just have to pay the fine. And you will be able to then write the exam during the exam period once your registration is confirmed, inshallah. All right, that's it. So we can wind up and we can end this session, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan kathira for patiently listening, for attending this session. May Allah Azza wa Jal, bless you all and make your exams easy and the process of registering or finding the exam center easier for you. Ameen. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.